Well, hello everybody and welcome to the channel. Today's video, we've got a little review for you, something, well, actually really quite different. It's a club, it's called the Ping Bunkr. Oh, I've shanked one. Now, I've done reviews on other wedges that Ping have made. We had the Chipper, which was quite an impressive club on its own. However, this particular one is designed to help with the bunker play.
First impressions wouldn't be for me.
So we're going to have a little look at it. We're going to sort of play with it. I'm also out here at Desert Springs in Spain and I've got a coaching trip going on. So I thought, actually, why not use some of the subscribers that have got a mixture of handicaps and see how they get on with this particular club. And actually what I'm going to do, they don't know it yet, but I'm actually going to give this club away at the end of it. So for that person that gets nearest the pin from one of these bunkers is going to be winning this little club that's going to sit nicely in their golf bag. And to help me review this club, along with those subscribers, is James Ruth. He's getting the bunker ready for us because we're going to have a nearest the pin ourselves. Now, your bunker play, I'm holding the mic because I've only got one mic between us, unfortunately.
That's fine.
Is that right? Your bunker play has, throughout the years, been pretty impressive. And you actually, well, for many years ago now, you actually gave me a tip that has helped me with my bunker play hugely over the years. So I want you to give me your first impressions of this Ping Bunkr Wedge.
Absolutely lovely. So one of the biggest things in bunkers is getting this part of the club to slide underneath the ball. You don't want the leading edge digging in, and this has got just a lovely load of bounce on the bottom.
But if you then look at the face of the club, James,
Yep.
What is your first impressions of that?
So it looks like the old Ping zing. You know, it's like gone back retro style. A lot of the wedges you see nowadays are rounded, whereas that's more of a kind of square shape. So for me, it looks so different to your traditional sort of wedge. So it'd take a little bit of getting used to, but it looks to me like there's loads of loft on it. When I put that down, that looks like it's almost laid flat.
Well, James, you're absolutely right. We've got 64 degrees of loft on this particular wedge, and Ping saying that it means that we don't have to open up the club face. Remember, when you open up that club face, you're generally going to add an awful lot of loft onto your sand wedge. Ping have already done that by putting on their 64 degrees of loft, making it a lot easier to be getting it out of the bunker really quite nicely. And for one extra little thing, we've got this super wide sole that's already got 14.5 degrees of bounce on it, again, allowing us to get that club into the sand and out of the sand quickly, again, getting us some control going onto those greens. And then the last thing I need to mention with this particular wedge is the actual face itself. So this face has got the grooves that run all the way along from the heel to the toe. There's no kind of the old traditional way of having that little bit of, I don't know, flat surface, should we say, on the toe end. We've got that high toe finish and it runs right the way to the end. Because if you look at that wedge, and James has just played one shot out of the bunker, can you see where that strike location is? Which is just a little bit into the toe area, up the top there, which is where that ball would have grabbed in the sand. But on a more traditional looking wedge, you may find that that is where the grooves would possibly end. And I think having these grooves that run to the edge of the face of these clubs, I think it's only going to help, certainly when it comes to bunker play. For me, personally, just like what James is saying, it reminds me of the old Ping I 2 kind of wedge. And as James says there, Ping Zing as well. So it just depends on what kind of era you were in. Probably ugly is the word. I prefer a more sort of pear-shaped, rounded kind of wedge. But like James says, what I do like about it is it's got that rounded front edge, which means it's going to allow you to open that club up a little bit more if you want to. Whoa, I think is that going in? It's a club which is going to be so easy to use because of the sole of the club. I think you're going to have so much confidence.
Wow, look at the spin on that.
Yeah, did that dig in?
Really spun, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to give so many players a lot of confidence because they're only going to need to hit one or two shots with it. They'll probably see some good results. And then that is ultimately, I always think, seeing is believing. So that's what's going to... Oh, I've shanked one. I've shanked it. 4, sorry. But having said that, that was me trying to play, let's say, a really, really delicate shot from around the green here. I mean, I don't shank bunker shots, historically anyway. That's the first one I've done for some time. But I really tried to open that face up. And I do feel like possibly this leading edge here, this corner edge here on the actual wedge itself, just maybe just intrudes just a little bit. However, I better go and get my golf ball. So the thing that I kind of like about this wedge is that actually, whereas James is kind of opening the face up there and getting it to land a little bit softer, I think actually it's going to be designed a big way to be played pretty much square faced, which if you think about the guys that we've had on the trip this week, I mean, some of them do struggle to get out of bunkers. Like, it's a big issue for a lot of people getting out of bunkers, and actually maybe having a club, just one club that they don't have to mess about with, that they can keep it almost like square faced and just play the bunker shot.
If you look at that,
yeah,
it just looks like it's got a lot of loft on it.
Oh, plenty, yeah.
So when you set it down square, it looks like it's got enough loft to get the ball out really high, rather than having to open it up.
No, and I think it's just designed to not be opened up. I think maximise the bounce on it and get that thing to just play square. It kind of takes away a lot of that, I don't know, that guesswork and what people think they should do with a wedge. Yeah. I think this one's designed to be played a little bit more square-faced.
Based on what you've just done, I'm going to choose this first hole here as our nearest to pin.
Thanks for that. Cheers. Right, you go first. What happened?
That came out towards the hosel. I wouldn't feel too comfortable about opening that up too much. Might have just been the way I swung it, but definitely came more towards the hosel, but that is quite prominent the way that sticks out.
Do you know what? That's really interesting, Jimbo, because that really, when you did open that up, it just wants that it's almost like there's a little nick in there which makes then the leading edge kind of rounded. It really does look at you. Just looks at you too much there. I think this club is not designed to be opened up. I think this is designed to be played simpler, should we say, and I think it's a square-faced bunker club is what I think it's going to be. So I'm going to keep this one nice and square, plenty of sand, get that bounce into it. And that will probably win nearest the pin out of me and James.
Handicap 10, first impressions, very easy club to use.
Oh, well done, Dino. But for those struggling out of a bunker, if you're in any way, shape or form worried, I think it'd be a dream.
14.9, come out.
Oof. Yes, that's the one.
This is just a personal thing. That doesn't suit my eye.
You're going to play this straight-faced, okay?
Oh, wow.
Now that is impressive. What a cracker. That takes that one out of play. Could you play it?
Yeah, I think if I went away and practiced with that a little bit, I think it would make things a lot easier for someone of my handicap.
Five handicap. Just looked so open to begin with. I didn't feel like I had to open it at all. It was just, I was told not to open it, and yet it just looked like it was going to slide under.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that video and you've got a bit of a better understanding of what Ping have tried to create with their new bunker wedge. I think it's actually really quite cool in the fact that they are really trying to help so many golfers out there. Now remember, this is not for everybody. Some people like to play a more traditional way, opening up the club face, using that bounce just a little bit more. However, if you're a player that does struggle with your bunker play and wants just maybe a little bit more help, then maybe you want to look at the new Ping Bunkr Wedge. It helped so many of the golfers that we took away on our trip, and at the end there, we even gave this wedge away to Richard, who got it inside about 3 feet. So well done to Richard. A big thank you to Ping. Don't forget, if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you again on the next video.
What can I say? Thank you very much for having the opportunity to try this out. That was given to Dan by Ping, but somebody with my handicap, I think it's got to help me forward for the future, and may it continue. So thank you, Dan, for giving me the opportunity to try it.
Comes with a little head cover.
Oh, there you go.
Well done, mate. Good shot. Good shot.